And welcome everybody, whether you're new to this channel or whether you're a long time watcher. It's Thursday and that can mean only one thing. It's me, GhostCritic, and I'm back for another comic book review show. And an interesting stack this week. There's not a lot of the main DC Marvel titles this week. They're very much independently based. I'm not just about the Marvel and the DC. And it did take me aback just a little bit, but let's crack on. Issue 14 of Batman The Dark Knight, and this is the third book I am dropping. Yes, this is the third one. Why am I dropping it? Well, yes, we've always had a bit of a rocky road with Batman The Dark Knight. And for me, it's just like, where does this title fit in with the rest of the Bat books? It seems to jump from one thing to another without any sense of real kind of continuity, even within its own title, never mind linking into everything else that's going on. I mean, we're 2 months into Death of the Family and not a single word has been mentioned here, whether Dark Knight is not going to be part of Death of the Family, whether it's going to eventually, draw itself in. But it feels time. I gave it a good crack at the whip, but no. Goodbye, Batman The Dark Knight. This issue is basically Batman battling Scarecrow. He doesn't really come off that well from it. And this is the kind of, where does this story fit in to what else is going on? Because it ends with Batman very badly wounded in bed with Damian by his side, and it's like, and they even mention Alfred, who's been worried about Bruce because Bruce has been, disappeared. He's been holed up with Scarecrow for God knows how long. So it's difficult to understand where it fitted in, but it's bye-bye Batman. Again, like I say with the other two that I've already dropped, I will have to pick up at least the next 2 issues. So it's not going away straight away, but it will be gone. And if you want to know, now you know the 3 books I've dropped, what am I going to be picking up? Well, watch on Sunday on the vlog and I'll let you know. Issue 14, another DC, it's Justice League Dark. What just happened? I feel really bad now because Minutia Minute has finally picked this book back up because it has been fantastic. This issue, what? This wasn't a good JLD book. It's split into essentially two stories. You have what I call like the leaders of our JL Dark team. You've got kind of John Constantine, you've got Deadman, you've got Steve Trevor, and this kind of Argus tech expert come in to figure out what these books of magic are, because this isn't what we were expecting. These are like technological amazing contraptions, are not just a bunch of old tombs with spells in them, that what John Constantine was expecting. So they're trying to figure out what is going on with the books and how to go and rescue Zatanna and Timothy Hunter, who disappeared within a magical portal. Now the other half of the story is, I guess, the soldiers of the team, which are on the cover here. So we've got Frankenstein, we've got Amethyst, and we've got Black Orchid. And they're just kind of kicking their heels about, while, you know, the intelligent lot have a good old banter with each other. They're just kind of like a bit bored. So they decide to go and check out the House of Mystery and what it has to offer. Now this is where I get a bit, what is Lemire up to? This isn't a very well written title, issue. Because Black Orchid has always been kind of portrayed, I mean, she's an operative of Argus. Steve Trevor gives her orders, she fulfills them. She's very matter of fact, she does the job, and she takes no shit from anyone. And she's sat there on the steps of the House of Mystery, and she says she's bored. She says, oh, let's go explore in the House of Mystery. This is so out of character for Black Orchid that it really stood out for me. Yes, fine, they go in the House of Mystery and a lot of fun things happen. You know, every room they go into, there's danger, there's skeletons, there's big kind of insect creatures that want to eat them. And it's all fun and frolics and a bit of adventure and a bit of danger. Nothing too amazing. The thing that really saved this for me, and didn't really think it was a complete stinker of the week, was, yes, Black Orchid opens one of the doors and she finds an office, which obviously John Constantine resides in, and on the wall is a whole plethora of pictures and notes about all our superheroes within the DC universe, and it's giving us very interesting clues to what might be coming up in the future, especially for next year. It was an interesting device, a nice 2-page spread, a huge big notice board with all these pictures and kind of findings. John Constantine is obviously watching all these heroes and taking notes. Is he taking notes in case they go bad? Does he know something we don't? Just a great little touch in a rather substandard book. It kind of ends with a visit from the Phantom Stranger and our mysterious Pandora looking on from the distance. Very disappointed in this issue, unfortunately, because Justice League Dark is often one of my favourite titles. Maybe it's just because the annual was so epic. This felt a bit drab. Shame. My final main 2 book, like the Marvel and DC's, it's from Marvel. It feels like I only spoke about this book a week ago, and yes I did, because it was a .1 issue. It's Ultimate Comics X-Men issue 19, and Brian Wood starts his Reservation X storyline. This is basically the mutants, or what's left of them. My god, I didn't realise the cure from the storyline before that President Captain America gave to the mutants as an option to rid them of their mutant gene was accepted by so many. Apparently there are now only 20 mutants in the world, or in our Ultimate Universe. That is quite a reduction. And even with only 20 of them, they are still pretty much split in 2. It's kind of interesting because James Donnelly in his last video spoke about Wolverine and the X-Men, and the way the storyline that we have at the moment, the Carnival and the Circus Freaks, was very reminiscent of a book storyline that happened like 30 odd years ago, and yes, I remember it too, and there are similarities. While this doesn't take a storyline from 20-30 years ago, it feels incredibly familiar in the sense that yes, we have this team of mutants, but they are very firmly split down the middle, with Kitty Pryde taking the role of Professor Xavier, and our new character Mac 2 being very Magneto-esque, and they are creating this, or trying to, between them, create this kind of utopia society that mutants live in. So I kind of retreading old ground, old storylines. It is basically them setting up on the land that the president, Captain America, has given them, and it is the worst plot of land you could ever give. It's a joke of a deal, and Kitty Pryde is given short thrift. How could you accept this for what we've just gone through? But they make the most of it. There is some like double crossing, two-facedness going on in this title. It's still good, it's still interesting. I like Brian Wood's writing. I like that Paco Medina's back on the artwork, so it's kind of back to the regular way it looks. It's funny that they're all being very paranoid about the government that may be watching them, when they should be thinking that someone else is, and they are. So the rest of the books are kind of the independent type books, and it's funny, I make notes obviously for these videos, and for the next issue I love it to bits, but the only notes that I've given for this next issue is I give up. It's Morning Glories issue 23. Oh, what is going on? I know I say it every week, and I compare it to the TV programme Lost, but it does feel like I'm in season 4, season 5 of Lost, and I'm confused as hell. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason I can't tear myself away. I do really like the book, and I think I'm just going to have to maybe read it from the start again and pick up on some stuff, or maybe just read it a bit more carefully, because I haven't a clue. I can't review it. If you love Morning Glories, maybe you can explain to me what's going on. There's sacrifices, there's the to and fro in of timelines, like there has been for quite a while. It's just a bit crazy mad. I don't know what else to say. I still love it, even if I don't understand it. We come to the end of book 2 for Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Fatale, with issue number 10. Yes, this wraps up our latest storyline set in the 70s. And while Miles and Rat are breaking into the cult headquarters to retrieve Josephine's book, well, the cult are off trying to get Josephine, and indeed they try their damnedest. It's wrapping up the storyline maybe a little bit too quickly for some, but we get a little bit of kind of history about Josephine and her effect on men that she's had in her past. And basically what a kind of manipulating little bitch she is. She definitely comes into her own with her powers and what she can do and make men do. And even though she gives away all this, or appears to be giving away lots about her history, and to Miles, because Miles has realised what he's doing isn't him. And something is affecting him, and he knows it's Josephine. But Josephine even says when she's walking away and talking to herself that, you know, he doesn't even realise what I can do. I haven't even told him the whole truth. And it ends with back in the present time, with our guy still chasing, looking for Josephine, trying to get his manuscript back, and it all goes wrong for him. It's basically, if you're a man in this book, you're not going to come off very well at all. I still loved it. I know people have had problems with the pacing of this book, wanted things to move on a little bit more, but given its kind of pulp noir status, I'm kind of give it the benefit of taking it easy. I think I said last time, Ed Brubaker has confirmed that this is now an ongoing title, because it was only meant to be maybe 6 or 7 and then it went up to 12, but now it's ongoing. The next kind of book he's doing in this series is a series of standalone stories within our Fatale universe, so that should be interesting. From Vertigo, we've got Fables, issue 123, and Bill Willingham wraps up his 2-parter kind of Destiny storyline with the wolf and this kind of magician guy basically be given, really, because we know in hindsight, each other's fates, which she has, this naughty little pixie fairy girl, has prescribed them, and this is what we find out. She is kind of a tool for the fates. The fates give her, the fates as in the people, the characters, give the destinies of people to her and she prescribes them. But she's been a little bit naughty. She's been kind of skimming a few of those destinies and fates off the top and keeping them for herself to, well, make her life a little bit more easy, to be honest. And we do realise that here, fate is a very fickle mistress, certainly. I love Fables, I always do. Gene Ha, guest artist on this book, beautiful artwork. The fights, well, the kind of fight battle scene between the wolf and this kind of mystical snake creature is just gorgeous. I always say, even, it's issue 123, even if you haven't been picking up Fables, just go right back to the start, pick them up in trade, and just, the series has been great from start to finish, and let's hope it's not going to finish anytime soon. Penultimate book, and issue 2 of Multiple Warheads came out. Look, if you enjoy stories that have a straight storyline, straight narrative, comprehensible talk, this book ain't for you. But that doesn't mean it's a terrible title. I really dig this. Brandon Graham does another phenomenal job, but it is everywhere. We have lots of kind of storylines. Oh, well, I say storylines. I'm not sure the book actually has one. It just seems to be like one big road trip, and whatever happens on the way happens. And maybe, you know, Brandon has some kind of end goal and it's all going to fit in the end. But I don't even care if it doesn't. Multiple Warheads is one of those books that you just have to experience and go along with it. Even if it makes no sense, even if you don't understand what's going on, just enjoy the beautiful artwork, and just delve into this weird kind of sci-fi otherworldly dimension where just weird things happen. It feels very much like a fanzine, if anything, and that's not to put the title down like it's of a low quality, but again, it's like there is writing down the sides of the book, there's little signs in the corner of it, and you just read it all, and while it might not have anything to do with what's going on actually in the main part of the panels, it's still a joy to read, and it just embellishes the universe we've got here. Great title, go and pick it up. Finally, and it shouldn't, well, I say shouldn't have been finally because I didn't get to pick up iVampire this week because apparently Diamond didn't send enough over here and my comic book shop missed out, so I'll probably manage to get that next week. So finally, and given my stack, pick of the week, it's the Unwritten, and it's issue 43. What a beautifully crafted book we have here. Mike Carey and Peter Gross have just been doing such an exceptional job with this title. I always say, you know, with this book, it's the inventiveness and it's taking from source literature that we all know and love and just making it completely different but keeping its essence at the same time. The main kind of crux of this new storyline is that Tommy's going to look for his lover and she is currently in the land of the dead, so he's looking for the gateway to it. He finds it in a very unexpected way, but that's not even the best part of the book. When you have raccoons being chopped in two from top to bottom, when you have the eccentricity of von Munchausen, when you have Elizabeth Bennet whoring herself out for food, when you have an army of rabbits coming after Tommy Taylor, you just can't not love this book. This harkens back to a storyline that came just after the big epic War of the Words storyline, when it came to a close and we had the wave that was crashing through all literature and basically wiping everything out in its path. And we're harkening back to that. What happened to all those characters that were trying to outrun the wave? And what we find is that there are basically two camps have now been set up. We have all the human literary characters in one camp, and then all the kind of the animal literary characters in another camp. And they aren't looking too good. They don't know what to do next. And of course, Tommy Taylor turns up in the human camp, and they think, you know, things are going to get better. A miscommunication to the animal camp, and they think Tommy Taylor's been killing animals, so they charging off warbound to destroy Tommy Taylor. It was just an incredible book. I have to say, Peter Gross's artwork has never looked better in this. It's definitely got more, I want to say, finesse to it. It's a lot more detailed, a lot more cleaner than it usually is. He usually has this kind of very hip and kind of indie styling, but I don't know whether because of the longevity of the book, maybe he's matured as an artist, but I certainly get the feeling his artwork is getting much better as this title goes along. Again, another Vertigo title that, if you haven't already started picking it up, go back, pick up the trades, dive in to the wonderful world of the Unwritten. And that is me out for the week. Do I need to tell you anything else apart from the fact I'll be doing a vlog on Sunday with lots to talk about? And I guess that just leaves me to say, if you're here for the first time, give me a big subscribe up there and another big thumbs up and lots of big comments down below. What did you pick up this week? What did you think of my stack? Sorry I couldn't get out Vampire this week. Who knows, it could have been pick of the week. But it missed out, unfortunately. And that's it. I'm wrapping it up now. I'll see you at the weekend. Have a good one. Bye-bye.